You learn to apologize before you spoke. Not out loud, not always, but somewhere in the way you entered a room, the way you asked for things, the way you made yourself smaller before anyone even looked at you. There was already an apology written into your body. You didn't decide to feel this way. You've just noticed that at some point your needs made things harder. That was when you needed something. The air in the room changed. Someone sighed, someone's face shifted, and you learned, without anyone teaching you, that wanting things was inconvenient. So you stopped wanting to be out loud. You started saying, "I'm fine," before anyone could ask. You started refusing help before it was offered. You started carrying things alone, not because you were strong, but because asking felt like a debt you couldn't afford to pay. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from this. Not the tiredness of doing too much, but the tiredness of performing ease, of making sure no one ever feels obligated to you, of scanning every interaction for signs that you've taken up too much space. You become an expert at needing nothing. You eat after everyone else has eaten. You downplay your pain. You say, "Don't worry about it," so often that people actually stop worrying. And then you wonder why you feel so alone, even when you're surrounded by people who would say they love you. But you train them. You taught them that you don't need things. And now they believe you. It usually starts young, not with cruelty, sometimes not even with neglect. Sometimes it's just the quiet arithmetic of a household where there wasn't enough. Not enough time, not enough patience, not enough attention to go around. And you learn to subtract yourself from the equation. You learn that the good child is the one who doesn't ask, the one who handles things alone, the one who notices when a parent is tired and quietly puts their own needs away, like folding clothes into a drawer no one opens. You weren't told you were a burden. You just felt the weight of what it cost people to take care of you, and you decided somewhere deep and wordless that you would cost less. That became the rule: cost less, need less, take less. And it worked in a way. People praised you for being easy, for being low maintenance, for never making things complicated. But the praise didn't feel like love, it felt like relief, like they were grateful they didn't have to try harder. The hardest part isn't the loneliness. The hardest part is that you can't tell the difference between being loved and being tolerated. You've thought about this more than you'd admit. When someone offers to help, you flinch. Not because you don't want it, but because some part of you is already calculating what it will cost them, already imagining their resentment, already preparing to refuse, so they won't have to pretend they wanted to give. You've become so good at refusing that you've forgotten what it feels like to receive. And when someone gives anyway, when they insist, when they show up without being asked, there's a moment where you almost let yourself feel it. Almost. But then the voice comes back, the one that says they're just being polite. They'll eventually get tired of this. Don't get used to it. So you don't. You remember a specific moment. Maybe not the first, but one that stayed. You needed something, help, attention, just someone to notice, and you asked for it. Or maybe you didn't even ask. Maybe you just existed in a way that required something from someone. And you saw their face. Not anger, not rejection, just that slight shift, the micro-sigh, the pause before they said yes. And in that pause, you understood everything. You understood that your need had weight, that it landed on someone, that even though they said yes, part of them wished you hadn't asked. You never forgot that pause. You've been living around it ever since. You hold your pain at arm's length, even from yourself. You've learned to discuss difficult things as they happen to someone else, calm, measured, slightly detached. Because if you let people see how much you're actually carrying, they might feel obligated to help. And obligation is the thing you fear most. Not rejection, obligation. The idea that someone is staying out of guilt, helping out of pity, loving you because they feel like they have to. That fear runs so deep that you'd rather be abandoned than be someone's burden. So you give them permission to leave before they ask for it. You make it easy to forget. You hold everything yourself, quietly, until your arms shake and your chest aches, and you still say, "I'm okay," when someone finally notices. You're not okay. But admitting that feels like a demand, and you've never learned how to make demands. There's a strange grief in this, a grief for the version of you that might have asked for things, might have said, I need help, might have let someone carry something without apology. You wonder sometimes what it would feel like, to trust that your presence isn't a problem, that your needs don't make you difficult, that you could fall apart and someone would still stay, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. But you don't really believe it, do you? You've tried, but you don't. You've watched too many people leave when things got heavy. Or maybe you left first so they wouldn't have to. Either way, the lesson stuck. Need is dangerous, being needed is safer. So you give, you show up, you carry, you become the person everyone leans on. Because at least then you have a reason to be there. But no one leans back for you. And when you finally admit, even just to yourself, that you're tired, it feels like failure, like proof that you were too much after all. You've spent so long earning your place. In friendships, in families, in rooms where you were invited but never quite felt you belonged. And the earning never stops. Every kindness feels like a loan. Every moment of closeness feels borrowed. You're always waiting for the cost to come due. So you keep the balance in your favor. Give more than you receive. Shrink before you're asked to. Exit before you're pushed. It's exhausting, but it's the only way you know how to stay. The word burden lives in your chest like a stone you swallowed years ago and never passed. It sits there, quiet, heavy. And every time someone sighs or pauses too long before answering or doesn't text back right away, the stone shifts, reminds you it's still there. You wonder if other people feel the same way, if everyone walks around waiting to be too much, or if it's just you. You don't ask, asking would be too much. You've been carrying something that was never yours to hold, the belief that your existence needs to be justified, that you have to earn the right to take up space, that love is something you prove yourself worthy of, again and again, or forever. And maybe one day that changes? Maybe. But today you're just tired, and you don't know how to put it down. So you don't.